Hi, good day everyone, and welcome to our topic, Assessment of Learning. So, in order for us to understand the topic, let us define first what is assessment. Olsen 2007 and Stigens 2002 define assessment as a critical piece of the teaching and learning process. So, it's a critical, that means it is very vital and important. Classroom assessment serves many important purposes. So since it is critical, it also serves many important purposes. This includes but not limited to grading, identification of students with special learning needs, the motivations of students, clarification of students' achievement, expectations, and monitoring instructional effectiveness. That's how important assessment is. In addition, Koloy, Kiyakitsi, and Hu 2017 defined assessment that teachers typically control classroom assessment environments by choosing how they assess their students, the frequency of these assessments, and how they provide assessment feedback. It is likewise imperative for teachers to make instructional decisions to ensure that quality learning takes place and the students have benefited from instruction. This only implies that when there are problems with our students, it will always go back how or the way we assess them, the how and the way we perform an assessment. So let's ask and reflect with ourselves how we do assessment with our students. In addition, assessment should be systematically implemented so it can provide structures of information on which instructional decisions can be based. In view of this, it is necessary for them to have a complete understanding of the basic concepts in assessment, its key terminologies, purposes, roles, guidelines, nature, procedures, and key principles must be understood by us. So in order for us to move and understand more fully the word or the topic about assessment, there are key terms that we need to understand. This includes but not limited to assessment itself, measurement, testing, test, and evaluation. Let's start with assessment. So assessment basically covers different ways that the teachers use to collect, review, utilize information for monitoring classroom instruction and improving student learning. So it's general. It includes the process of doing the collection, review, utilization of information. Those are called as assessment. However, Lucas and Corpus 2012 define assessment as it is a process of gathering information about student learning and then analyzing and interpreting them to make decisions. This only implies that us or we as teacher, before we decide, must collect information, and that process of collection is what we call assessment. Before we decide, we have to review and utilize information and from the monitoring process and before moving on to decision. So therefore, in every decision that we made, we must undergo the process of assessment, right? Next, measurement. According to Gabuyo, 2012, in measurement, a number is assigned to quantify an individual's intelligence, personality, attitudes, or values. So, kumbaga, ginagamit natin sa to measure or to determine the different uh, scales that are used to describe students' performances, like individuals' intelligence, individuals' personality, attitude, and values. How do you measure those areas of our students? Of course, the process of determining them or the process of getting them is what we call measurement. So the data used to describe these attributes are in numerical value or in numerical that answer the question how much, diba? So when you ask question how much is your score, how much is your height, how much do you understand, or how do you understand the process, and do you understand the term, it always come to the word measurement. So the test of the students, it is termed as measurement. Or when the teacher gives a score to the test of the student, it is termed as measurement. Right? Sige. Example, Peter got 30 out of 50 item test in math. So the 30 out of 50 is a measure, right? If you got 60 out of 100, it's a measurement. If you got 6 out of 10, it's measurement. And then score of yours will determine how far did you have or did you get out of the total score. So probably you will have an initial understanding of your performance because you measure it. You have this number that will determine your place or your position from the total score. Another, Ben got 90% in his second grading periodical test. That means that when we say 90%, it's almost getting to 100. Or if you say 30 out of 100, then you will really determine where you are now. And that is the meaning of measurement. Not only using a tape measure, not only using a ruler in order to measure something or a weighing scale to measure something. Number is very important in the student's performance to describe its performance. Right? The next one is testing. Testing is the administration, scoring, and interpretation of tests. This is to determine or gather information about the extent of the information or achievement of the student. So it really focuses on the process. So the process of administration, the process of scoring, and the process of interpretation of test is what we call testing. So it's progressive. It's testing. Let's try if you understand. I will ask you, or that's testing. So it's a process of interpretation. It's a process of scoring or a process of administration. So let's take a look at into deeper meaning of testing. We have the word test. So test is a tool comprised of a set of questions administered during a fixed period of time under comparable conditions for all students according to Miller, Lin, and Gronland 2009. This only means that the test or exams or questionnaires that we are giving is testing. But when we talk about the instrument, it refers to the tool that is a test or the questionnaire itself. It can be aptly said that all tests are assessments, but not all assessments are tests. This only means that a test is just a part of assessment, and this is just one way of assessing the performance of our student through testing, right? Right, when we use instrument, that is testing, but the process of testing is just one part of assessment. This only implies that assessment have different ways or different uh, activities to perform. There are different assessment. All tests are assessment, right? So therefore, a test belongs to assessment, or a test is a one or a simple or is just one assessment to test, right? So assessment is just some of the many assessments that we can perform and give to our students. And the last is evaluation. Evaluation is a process of attaching the quality or value judgment to the quantity obtained through the process of assessment. When we get information out of the process of assessment, then we are attaching the quality to the value that we get. Sometimes we describe it as good or bad. Sometimes we level or rank it. Sometimes we give its description. And that is evaluation. Evaluation always happens at the end. And this is the time where we can judge already the performance of our students. But where are we going to base our judgment? We are going to base our judgment based on the score or the data that we obtain from various assessments that we made. So that is the definition that I presented is based on is according to RICO 2011. So here is the table about the difference between measurement, assessment, and evaluation. So, so what the teacher does when he do measurement? Of course, teacher assigns scores to the student. But if he do assessment, he collects reviews and uses the data. Example, student score. So, RD is the comparison between assessment and measurement. But what if the teacher will perform evaluation? Of course, the teacher will passes the judgment based on the set standard. So, as you have noticed, there are differences in terms of how or what the teacher will do. So, if he is just assigning score to a test, it's just measurement. If he collects reviews and uses data like student score, then that is assessment. But if he passes the judgment based on the set standard, then that is evaluation, right? So here comes now the purposes of these three terms. What's the purpose of measurement? Of course, to score student performance in a given test or task. That's its purpose. How about assessment? It is to diagnose strengths and weaknesses. Strengths, or sorry, to diagnose strength and weaknesses or difficulties of the student. So, tamo lain ang iyang purpose. Another purpose of assessment is to improve the teaching and learning process in a formative manner, right? So, for the evaluation, its purpose is to judge performance whether it is passed or it is failed, right? So, next we have the focus. Ano blang focus sa measurement? Ang focus sa measurement is the process and product. All the processes and all the products gained are the focus. Okay? Iyan na iya coverage. So, meaning sa process may ara siya, si measurement may ara man siya sa product. And for the assessment, may ara siya ang iyang focus is process alone. Right? So, ang iyang natanaw how and paano, why, or paano na himo sang performance na himo sang bata iya performance. So dira sa yon taga sa process iya focus. However, on the evaluation, it focuses more on the product. So ari tanan sa measurement gindalaya ang tuwa. And how about how are students informed of their performances, right? So in terms of measurement, students are informed based on the quantified score with interpretation and description. So however, on the assessment, it is based on positive and negative points. Okay? So anong imo nga advantage, anong imo nga disadvantage, anong imo nga strength, anong weaknesses ang bata. So amo na yang iya nga focus or paano gina-inform ang bata sa iya nga performance. In terms of evaluation naman, it is based on the level of quantity or sorry, quality. It is based on the level of quality as per set standard. So, medyo diretsuhanan na niyang evaluation mo. So, kano lang quality nga nakita sang teacher sa iya based on the standard required. And how about for the criteria? So, in terms of measurement, criteria are the number of correct answer against the total score. So, ang pag-measure nato kagina sa example, 30 over 60, 60 over 100. Amo na siya, number of correct answer against the total score. Amo na yung criteria sa measurement. However, on the assessment, it is set by both the teacher and the students. If they agree on a certain process, a certain activity, then that's the criteria already. So it must be understood by everybody that when we talk about assessment, you have also to consult your student. Ano blang himuon ninyo subong aga? You must agree. They must understand how you facilitate the activity in order for them to be ready because the assessment is more focused on the process, right? For the evaluation is set by the evaluator. So wala na giniya mahimo si student sa kay ka-evaluate kita. Just like when our program is evaluated, it has been prepared. The criteria has been prepared by the evaluator. When we have the accreditation, then that's another example in which the criteria is prepared by the evaluator. And if you are evaluated based on your performance, then you don't have any other choice but to follow the criteria set by the evaluator. Okay, so that's it. And that's all for today's session, today's discussion, and today's video. I hope you understand and learn from the discussion. And see you on the next video. I hope that you are going to watch this and learn this in order for you to fully understand what is meant by assessment, especially the terminologies used in it. Thank you and see you next meeting.